Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Cryptid Combat. This one is going to be one of our most closely contested matchups so far. Mothman.
I mean, you guys saw the excitement from last week.
Exactly. Look at the two competitors here.
Yeah, Mothman, he's been sitting ringside with me throughout the last couple of fights, and even in the bracket, I think he was ringside with me. That whole night was kind of a blur, I'm not going to lie. I might have seen Mothman, might not have that night. But everybody seems quite excited for this match, myself included. For those of you listening after last week, you'll know that I bet my entire mortgage payment on the Beast and lost. So this time I'm taking the not-so-safe bet, some would say, but I'm taking the gambler's risk, which is the Fresno Nightcrawler. Sorry, I know, out in the open already with my opinions, but Mothman's a good friend. I just don't think he's got it in him for this fight.
Yeah, look, Fresno Nightcrawler, I feel like I'm seeing double at this point. And honestly, who knows what this creature is capable of. He might be the lowest seeded cryptid, but that's not any reason to doubt him. But let's go ahead and get into... Well, first off, we saw last time the Flatwoods Monster defeated the Beast. Before that, Sasquatch defeated the Bunyip. They are set to face in the next round. Mothman here will face Fresno Nightcrawler here. And then next week, Dogman will face another wild card. And then you can see the rest of the bracket there. And let's go ahead and talk about the Mothman.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Exactly. The Mothman, he's pretty big. And he looks like, some people say he's a bird. Some people say, he looks bat-like. Surprisingly, very few people say he looks like a moth. It's, from what I can tell, so...
That's one thing that's always confused me about his kind of alter ego. He does have a proper name. I'm not going to dox him. But it's always confused me about the Mothman, just because I, like you, have never heard of a single sighting of Mothman where they've been like, yeah, that was definitely a moth. But, oh, dude, total side note. Did I tell you okay, I'm being so serious. This is not a bit anymore. I saw something akin to Mothman when I was driving back from the gym. It was probably about 6 months ago now.
In where you live? Like just at home?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'm being so for real right now. So my route to the gym takes me past a bunch of, sorry, this is total tangent, but it just dawned on me now. Takes me past a bunch of car dealerships, and at night when I go, when I'm driving back, it's usually around 5:30 to 6 o'clock in the morning, and so it's still pretty pitch black. And at that time there was a lot of fog. Yeah, it had to be winter because we get real foggy around winter time here. But I'm driving back, and I kid you not, I was on the phone with my mother, and she can attest to this as well. From the left side of my vehicle flew this gigantic thing over, and it crossed in front of the lights. Like, it flew low, and I was probably only about 75 feet off the ground, and it was roughly man-sized and man-shaped with wings, and it just continued to fly off. And I tried to discredit it as like a crane or something like that, because we get sandhill cranes around here. It wasn't. It just straight up wasn't, because I've seen them fly, and it's not that. It was crazy, dude. Anyways, sorry, back to the matchup.
That's actually interesting, because from what I know, most of the biologists and people who've tried to figure out what the Mothman is and delegitimize it will usually actually point to the sandhill crane as being probably what they saw. But I will say I don't know many cranes I've seen with the pecs and the shoulder development of the Mothman here.
Or the leg development either. I don't know if you guys have ever seen bird legs. Jamie, pull that up real quick. They're usually not, full of quads and calves. They're usually
compared to the average bird. We're looking at tomplats here. Like, this is insane.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is 3-time, like, currently on the stage champion, Mr. Universe, Arnold
In fact,
Schwarzenegger.
I
That's
think
who
he
this
has
is.
a deadlift feat of lifting up the entire. I forgot the name of the bridge, but he put it down.
All over in Tacoma
Yeah,
or whatever it
he
was.
put it down and didn't rack it properly, and I think 46 people died. So
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Accidents happen when you're working out. A couple months ago, I dropped a plate on my toe.
mm,
All right, we can't fault the guy too much. Sure, there might have been fatalities involved, but we can't fault him too much for
for
that.
sure, yeah, it's an accident, just like normal. He was even there a few days early, apparently, to warn people that he was going to be deadlifting that day, but they still drove on the bridge. Uh, and Yeah, honestly, other than that, the thing about Mothman that's most interesting, like in reality, is that most of the things surrounding Mothman are very UFO oriented. And I don't. Have you heard of like the injured cold stuff? Do you know anything about that?
I, I've I've heard a bit of it. Yeah, not I'm not super well versed in it. If you would like to educate the viewers on that and potentially a little bit myself, that would
So
be
I'm not
phenomenal.
freshened up on it, and I probably should have, considering we're talking about Mothman, because some people think they're related. If I had to guess, Injured Cold's probably like his manager or representative or something. But around the same time, Injured Cold showed up. Well, I say Injured Cold. It was a weird-looking man that looked like just uncanny valley was basically the description there, like a strange face and smile. And apparently, he went up to the guy that he was talking to, and he talked to him, and the guy was like, he noticed something strange when he was talking to him, and the thing he realizes, oh, his mouth isn't moving. And then
I have a
yeah,
question. What is this guy wearing?
um I'm doing some last minute research to figure that out, but I know it's very like tied into like, it says old suit here. It's very tied into like some people say it's very what do you call it, Men in Black type idea.
That's that that's what I was thinking because a lot of the Men in Black reports say that their faces fall into the uncanny valley, and their mouths typically don't move when they speak.
So okay, the first sighting, I remember reading this, and it's very interesting because they don't tie up exactly, because he's also known as like the Smiling Man. And they had, it's like a few boys had seen him uh, outside of a fence. It looks like. Again, this is very unprofessional, but he had small beady eyes and a weird grin. I don't think he said anything to him. And then here, I think this is what I'm looking for. I'm trying to look at the name, but the man. So a salesman was driving at night. He noticed a weird like lightning in front of him, and then the salesman with a weird lamp-looking spacecraft vehicle. He walked up to him, and he started talking to him telepathically, and said his name is Injured Cold. He said he straight up just said he's from a distant planet and meant no harm, and then he said he will visit him again, and then left. So he just like showed up.
Did he ever visit him again?
As far as we know, I don't think. No. And there's some other sightings.
Dude, what a
He
jerk.
said, I mean, who knows? Maybe he did, but I mean, he said he meant him no harm. I don't know, but it's weird because it's tied into the myth, and I know like the Mothman Prophecies movie was based off a book, and I've heard people complain that the book talks way more about the UFO sightings and aliens and Injured Cold stuff around it. So, but it kind of, as you know, as someone who's interested in this, like it kind of gets me wondering like if there's any connection. Like obviously 1966 is the same year Mothman's first reported in the same area. Um, so
And I have
yeah,
a question. Do you know the exact geographical location where the first spotting
I
happened?
do not. Do you?
It was near a retired Army munitions plant.
Hmm.
So if we're going with the whole Men in Black thing, Men in Black, aliens, UFO, usually goes back to the government. Hey,
I just
maybe Mothman came down on a summer break just to study some
why
stuff
has no
for
one
us.
like thought of like making like just like run with these ideas, like make a movie about like FBI Men in Black agents or something like that, and then the Mothman escapes the local facility that they're, or like the research facility. I don't know, like it's like
You're talking about like a Wolverine origins, but it'd be Mothman origins.
exactly, and it's just like you have these like telepathic, like, have you seen the movie Knowing with Nicolas Cage? You know the aliens
so,
that
yes.
walk up and like you don't hear what they're saying, but they walk up and they're communicating with like Nick, and they're communicating with his kid, and like the kid knows what they're saying, and that's the type of thing I'm thinking. Like, you have these really creepy like Men in Black type characters. Now, in those they were just aliens, and then it's a weird thing. I think that I'm gonna move on because as much fun as I'm having, I think we probably need to talk about talk about his strengths and weaknesses. As you can see, I've kind of simplified things a little. He can fly. That's a pretty big strength. I have fear factor on here, which again, we've talked about my gripes with the idea of fear factor's ability, because obviously you see a giant bird, it's scary. His eyes are red. He's mobile. And his weaknesses, he just doesn't have super high durability. Like, even with the added muscle, it seems like he's still a bird, like in build, and he's pretty ambush reliant due to that.
Yeah, and also I under the fear factor thing, just going back to that for a second, I like how you said scary eyes.
Yeah, I declare.
It wasn't just scary eyes. It was
The eyes specifically.
You had to declare that.
It's not the everything else. It's specifically the eyes in all capitals. But look, we're overlooking someone here.
Oh, let's go.
Okay,
let's go.
I want to take a note and actually read the caption here. I'm just going to read it for word. Captured on security footage, the Fresno Nightcrawler is a bizarre spectral-legged entity whose unsettling appearance unnerves all who witness it, despite its apparent lack of combat power. Now, whoever wrote this, I feel like is really sleeping on our boy here, or two.
They're really trying to sell the underdog factor here, and I appreciate it, but I think that Fresno's management team, especially his PR team, needs to get on top of that.
Maybe it's like the whole like when Floyd Mayweather, his last few fights, he would like leak rumors of him like partying and stuff and like going out and drinking, but he really was just training super hard, but he was trying to leak things to make it look like he was gonna lose. Maybe like, no one's seen the Fresno Nightcrawler fight, so maybe his PR team is doing the opposite, trying to like lull his opponent to a false sense here. What I do know about this thing, the first time it was seen, I think it was like 2007 on security footage. I don't know if this is the first one, this image GIF here, but I do know that it was seen several times since. It's been kind of slandered for how easy it would be to walk and then Photoshop the top half of your body off and make it look like that. However, I think it's real. I see no reason to believe that that's not a real creature is walking right there. As pants like as it is.
Absolutely. But I think once again, like you said, maybe his PR team's kind of leading into, maybe this is a guy in a suit, because Mothman's not too scared of people. So
at one point, we're gonna be in trouble when one of these cryptids actually turns out not to be real and he doesn't show up to the battlefield. But so far, they've all been real, so that's convenient.
Yeah, it's worked out in our favor. So and I did say earlier that Mothman usually sits ringside with me. He's not here right now. He's in the locker room.
There has been an error here. I can already see.
Oh no.
So on strengths, he does not have lethal bite. So ignore the attack, and we have no data on his endurance. So and this is actually on purpose. The only strength that he should have listed here is strange movements, which are eerie and unpredictable. Those are his one strength according to this. And his weaknesses is he has a fragile physique. He does not lift, and no offense. He's nearly incapable of dealing damage. There's an unprofessional note added here.
Yeah. We're gonna have to call that. We're gonna have to send us upstairs after.
I will say
the match,
the effect of having only one strength is kind of taken away by the error. However, just know that he's on paper not coming in with a lot. Although I don't know. who knows that he doesn't have stamina to sustain prolonged hunts? I'm not sure what he would be hunting, but I mean,
also, and who knows that he doesn't have a lethal bite? That footage is not very good. We don't get to see a good shot of his mouth or
that's
anything.
a good point.
So.
Who knows what the Fresno Nightcrawler is capable of. Maybe in the footage, one thing what if he can make clones of himself? Maybe that's why there's two of them.
Hey.
2, 3, 7, like just Naruto strategy it and like just throw a bunch of you until one of them lands a shot, right? So who knows? Here's where they are. Both in the States this time. You know what? I left the note out because we're talking about the Fresno Nightcrawler and not any other Nightcrawler. However, there are similar creatures that were seen in Poland. But we're not talking about Poland. We're talking about Fresno.
Maybe he just likes kolaches,
Yeah, but a lot of the world underrepresented here in this fight. But you know what? This might be you could say this is for the United States Championship here. I guess.
Yeah, kind of a lower. Well, I'm trying to come up with like an East versus West.
Yeah,
there we go. That's how I'll put it. An West for the U.S.
And these are the, we have the data, we have all the info we have on these two. Who do you think's got this? You've already kind of leaked it, but go ahead and explain your thought process, I guess, with your pick.
Yeah, they don't call me the expert analysis for nothing. I've been called in on a lot of these fights, whether they are, sanctioned or non-sanctioned. I won't get into my non-sanctioned history because last time I did incur a heavy fine from the higher-ups, which is a little bit unfortunate. But overall, Mothman, if you guys didn't catch it in the last episode, I did kind of mention that he may or may not be juicing. You can kind of tell that this depiction of him, this image, he's definitely got some really good lighting, kind of that underglow lighting that a bunch of bodybuilders love to use, just because it makes everything a lot more well-defined, right? However, he is a very strong guy, but like you said, very bird-like. Something we know about birds, from elementary school is that they got hollow bones, This guy might have 2 cannons on his arm, but his jaw may be made of glass. And with that jaw being made out of glass, look at those long, slender legs on the Nightcrawler. Long, slender legs, all right? That guy is built like a cricket. He is going to be able to reach up and grab a hold of him. That flight pattern might not be enough to save him because those long, springy legs, as you can see them walking, they might have a jumping ability that is hitherto yet unseen in this tournament. So we're going to have to take it to the match. Like I said, I did refinance my mortgage, and I've put all of that refinanced money on the Fresno Nightcrawler. So we'll see how it turns out.
Imagine the teep kick on this dude. Just gonna...
Oh, it'd be insane. Mothman's not going to get close enough.
That's something that Mothman, hopefully he's been training for. But I think that we should go ahead and get into the fight. Okay, real quick. As always, there are 3 rounds. The first one will take place in Mothman's home field. The second one will take place in Fresno's home field. And the last will take place in a neutral area. So who wins more rounds wins the bout. Round 1 in the Mothman field. Over a dark, winter-swept mountainside, Mothman descends with glowing eyes like burning coals. The Fresno Nightcrawler glides silently below, a phantom in the grass. Mothman strikes from above in a blur of wings and claws, slamming its prey into the ground with merciless efficiency. The Nightcrawler's eerie movements offer no defense as the winged terror dominates completely. That was his...
No, Fresno.
Alright, but don't worry, we have an opportunity as we're in the Fresno home field. Amid the misty streets of Fresno,
let's go.
The Nightcrawler drifts like an apparition, using the fog to mask its movement. Sorry, I got something. For a moment, it evades the monster above. But then Mothman screams, a piercing sound that shatters the silence. With terrifying speed, it dives through the fog, talons outstretched, and drives the fragile creature into the dirt with brutal, finality. And the fight's over, but it's
man.
not, because we're gonna still run the last round.
Heck yeah. We're going to throw one more heart up there for my boy Fresno.
Oh. Under a cloudless sky on open ground, Mothman and the Nightcrawler stand exposed. The winged predator circles above, relentless and patient, before swooping down in a blur of power. The Nightcrawler sways The Nightcrawler sways helplessly as Mothman crushes it beneath a single devastating strike, ending the one-sided contest in decisive fashion. And then look. This is the fight. Except imagine those are like kicks, you know.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying. He's giving.
We got a -1 for Fresno here. He's -1 heart now. Let's look at the results. Honestly, I have to say with the statistics, now that the cat's out of the bag, I'm just gonna say that I'm surprised that Fresno won the 23 total bouts out of the 300 he did. So I think that's a victory. And I'm not sure, because the statistics, the data said that he had no way to win. Yet he somehow managed to pull off those victories. I'm not sure if it knows the Mothman got hit by a propeller wing or something because it flew too high, or what exactly happened. Maybe it flew and then the Fresno Nightcrawler put up its leg and it was just pointy enough to go through its eye. I don't really know, but somehow Fresno won a few of those bouts. But in general, the summary, I think, told us pretty clearly that this was very one-sided.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Let's put all of our cats out of the bag on the table here. Mothman, of course, was going to win this. All right. I unfortunately did indeed put all of that money on Fresno Nightcrawler. However, we'll come back in the next one. I'll figure out some way. Now, here's the thing I'll say about this fight. Mothman, I love you, dude. Great guy overall. Great guy to grab drinks with and everything. However, Mothman, you are a one-trick pony. That flying and swooping, the screaming, it might look cool in the middle of West Virginia with a couple of teens that are out in the woods. But unfortunately, as he goes further on, with this next bout, we're going to see who he's actually going up against for his round 2. That might not work out entirely well.
Let's just think about this.
So
off the top of my head, if I'm not wrong, his next bout will be against the Flatwoods monster. I think he's going to have to mix his strategy up, because the Flatwoods dominated the beast. And then if somehow he gets past that match, I say somehow, but I think that's still a close match. Then he'll be facing either the Sasquatch or actually, you know what? I'm sorry. I just realized all that's wrong. We don't know who he'll face next. But either way, I think your point stands. We're not sure who he'll face next. But if they're not tough and he manages to get through another easy victory, he might run straight into the Sasquatch or the Flatwoods monster. You know what I mean? There's a good point. He's not. This was a freebie, and he still managed to mess it up 8% of the time.
Which is, diabolical. Like you said. One thing you can always give Fresno Nightcrawler is he's got a lot of heart and a lot of legs. And maybe that's what won him those 23 matches.
He's got a lot of legs. Yeah, that's actually the top part of his body is a heart, and then the rest is legs. That's what you're seeing there.
Just a half heart, half legs. That's what we called them.
Half heart, half legs, full Fresno. Unfortunately, it didn't get him. It only got him 23 of the wins, winning no rounds. The first bout or match where we had a 3-0 lead. Let's give it up for the Mothman. Despite it being an easy win.
Yeah, a devastating victory.
He did do it in impressive fashion. We just want to see a bit more variety here. He could have definitely played with his food and got a few reps in a little more. But either way, next time, we have the Dogman, number 4 seed, versus a wild card, which we will announce right now, is Tsuchinoko?
Tsuchinoko.
Yeah.
Tsuchinoko.
This is actual size.
That's my boy. That's my boy from Japan.
surrounded by some cats.
Yeah, there's gonna be two things I'm gonna say about these images. So before we started filming, you said there was an image of Dogman. You didn't describe the image at all, and I was not prepared for that image, which is why you might hear some laughter in the background when the image came up.
It looks like a puppet.
He needs
like
to fire
it looks like a
CR team.
Muppet with like a slightly.
You know what it reminds me of is, do you remember that shark that was in formaldehyde for like 30 years and those urban explorers found it?
I do not. That sounds cool though. I would like to see that.
Oh, dude. While I talk about this other one, I'm gonna send you that image and maybe you could throw it up on the screen. But this other one is formaldehyde tank. Yeah. What's her name? I can't remember. Yeah, I gotta send you this because this is insane. But because the similarity is insanely close. All right, so the Tsukinoko that you've got on there is what appears to be an Argus monitor that does not have legs. So that's just a lizard that somebody photoshopped the legs off of.
You know, here's the thing.
And then a cat's just staring at it.
So, when I found this image, I will say I saw plenty of pictures that were more obviously artistic illustrations. It's actually a bit of an older legend from what I know. However, I prefer this image because it still looks like those illustrations. Like it actually, it's pretty close.
Yeah, it does. It's a fat snake.
There's also the cats in it, which were just funny. They're just like, because you're thinking about this mythical beast of legend, and these cats are just like, what the heck? What is that doing there?
What is this thing? Which slug?
I think will show us that we can expect another highly contested bout probably next time.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be, because I mean, if you guys don't know the legend of Tsukinoko, I mean, forget about it. All right, that's who my money's going on the next round. So,
well, with all that said, I guess you'll have to see next time if Tsukinoko can have the first wild card victory. Because right now our wild cards are, I mean, it seems like they're wild cards for a reason.
Yeah, but a lot of heart to get here, as you just saw with the Fresno Nightcrawler, and a lot of heart to stay in the ring even after he knew the battle was gone. So.
Yep. I like the Fresno Nightcrawler. It's a shame that he got killed the exact same way 3 times within 10 seconds.
Yeah. But I mean, he won 20% of the time.
Close to 1 in 10 times, you would have won that bet if it was, not simulated to all possibilities. So maybe, I think I think betting on the underdog doesn't really work when we're simulating the bout 300 times. That kind of is on purpose to make sure underdogs don't win.
No, the heart will hold. The heart will hold.
Next time, look, if we can find another way to give Fresno Nightcrawler another victory, he's my first pick if we have to give someone another opportunity. But
I mean, can you picture him going up against a Tsukinoko? That would look like a secretary bird. Those birds that like stomp the snakes.
I would say if I was so far, not to give away my opinions on the Tsukinoko right now, but so far if I were to draft like skill-based matchups instead of seedings, because obviously seedings are sort of done so the higher seeds have a higher chance of getting further in the tournament. If I were to be doing skill-based matchups here, I do think Fresno versus Tsukinoko would probably be an interesting bout to see. One has no legs and the other is all legs. He's trying to get those legs from him.
The battle of you got legs or you got legs.
Imagine if the Tsukinoko got on top of the flat part of the head of Fresno Nightcrawler and they became a combined entity of a fat snake with legs.
You have to pilot the Fresno Nightcrawler Supinoko, or else the dog man will do it again.
All right, we need to listen. If you want to see who wins this fight, tune in next time. But that's all for this one.